Any read on the new patch? Yeah, Samira Garen, Infiniteam.
Welcome back to another Alvado video. Now in today's video, we're going to be watching a gameplay by Liquid Robin Songs. Now Robin Songs is known for many things, to name a few: old, wise. He made a TFT handbook slash website, God of TFT. But he can now add another thing to that list, and that is he is the champion of the Box $20,000 streamer invitational super pog super based final day most LP champion. Not only is he the champion of the Box Invitational, but he's currently rank 1, and part of the formula or the strategy that he had in being able to maintain 1400 LP has to do with what we're about to watch in this game. We are about to watch a game that contains the Infiniteam crest. You can see on 2-1, a 4.18 is very good average. If anything is above or below a 4.5, then that means it's pretty strong. So if it is, 4.18, that's significantly below 4.5, that means it's very strong. Not only is Infiniteam strong, but is the perfect comp to learn for the new patch. This game was played on the previous patch, but in the patch that is now currently live, Infiniteam is not only getting buffed at every single level, but Samira and Garen are both getting buffed, which are units that you commonly play among the Infiniteam units. Now, currently, we can see that the Infiniteam Hex is a backline Hex. Now, he was kind of bummed because with the Wukong 2 this early, he really wanted to be able to frontline and duplicate the Wukong. But you can see he's still duplicating the Wukong because he knows that tank items are significantly better in the early game, and duplicating a Wukong 2 is just better than duplicating non-upgraded Infiniteam units, considering the HP scaling is like a pretty important factor. Frontline units generally have more HP, so if you have, a Wukong with 1.1k HP and a Sivir with 600 HP or something, I don't know if that's the exact numbers, but no matter what, you're going to just get more HP from copying frontline units anyways, because frontline units generally have more HP, and then, of course, upgraded units also generally have more HP. Also, frontline units, since you're only getting one item through Infiniteam, because it's the first, there's only one augment being shown, you have a lot higher chance of getting more effective items. Items like Protector's Vow or just general like tank items are oftentimes stronger, and then you also have the chance of getting ZZ Rot, where ZZ Rot doesn't lose any of its effectiveness even if it's on a duplicated unit. But with a backline unit, you have chances of getting, Deathblade is just less effective if your unit has less AD and less damage because of the percentages. Last Whisper is probably one of the best ones that you can get, but you can see that he already has Last Whisper. And then you also have odds of getting Bloodthirster on backline units. You can get Bloodthirster on Sivir, you can get Bloodthirster on Ezreal. And, just getting that in an early game fight really does not help you, push for like winning specific rounds. Now take a look at his board. Now, first of all, it was a backline Hex for the first one. I did mention that, but he was talking about how if you have the ability to play Infiniteam, if you know for a fact that it's frontline Hex and then backline Hex, that's some of the best, that's like the best way that you want the Infiniteam Hexes to show up. Also, you prefer the Infiniteam Hexes to be close to each other. So if the frontline Hex is far left and the backline Hex is far right, you're going to have a difficult time being able to try and like guarantee getting, the best positioning or positioning that is good enough. Now, he did just hit this Sivir 2 and this Pantheon 2, but I do want to point out that all he had in the early game was just a Wukong 2 and then a Poppy 2 and then a Lucian 1 and a Sivir 1, and that was all he needed to 5 streak. Now, Keep in mind, he's currently in this video 1300 LP, and you know, a lot of people that he's playing against are very high level challengers. I mean, Ramblin's in his lobby, Kerm's in his lobby. Those are some of the best players in the game. And with that, you know, opener with just getting Infiniteam and a Wukong 2, he was able to turn that into a 5 streak. No upgraded backline units, no like ridiculous item combinations. I mean, Last Whisper is obviously very strong, but it's nothing like crazy. And if you're going to, you know, push for going fast 9, I can't even remember the last time I was able to fast 9. Um, and it's because I'm not choosing to play openers like this. When you just get the Infiniteam +1 and you know that that's good enough to, you know, give you um this streak, like it gives you such strong board strength that it's able to carry you into later stages of the game without having to roll, without having to do, like, do specific things. Now, like I said, he did get the Sivir 2 and the Pantheon 2 during creeps or Krugs, and that was definitely, you know, a situation in where he now knows that he can push to fast 9. Also, I skimmed over the that augment, but the Shen augment, he said, is considered BIS, and you can see that he's scouting other people, and he was not able to get the Shen augment that he wanted, but he knew that he wanted at least one of the Shen augments, and he was guaranteed to hit at least one of them. He got kind of unlucky. He wanted the support, where the support one gives your team damage reduction. Is basically all it does. It just gives your entire team damage reduction. And then he wanted to but then he ended up getting the carry and augment. And if you go to something like Teamfight Tactics and you go to, I'm just looking at team compositions that are strong right now, this is one of the best ways to understand how strong specific augments are in those said comps. So you can see Infiniteam presses at the top, but if we go to hero and then we go to place, you can see that both Pantheons are at the top, and then the next one is Shen support. And if you get Shen support at 3.2 or 4.2, the average is above 3 or below 3.8, and then this one's 3.9. So if you're in a spot where you can play vertical Infiniteam, then you know for a fact that just getting that recursion matrix is insane, which is exactly why he, you know, used every single one of his rolls to try and get it. And you can see that he's even able to continue his streak in stage 3, even when he has the subpar augment. The carry Shen one, this one's going to get changed, so it's not that big of a deal, but this one gives it makes his tether longer. So it gives the Shen more more time for having that damage reduction, and then it also amplifies the tethered unit's damage. You can see that he's further like naturaling things, but at the end of the day, his board is still not that insane. He's still playing a Lucian 1 and an Ashe 1 just to enable both of the traits, and that's strong enough. And then he also chooses to make this play here where he levels to 8 on 4-1. This is a play that, you know, most of the time you're obviously not going to be able to do. But considering he's 100 HP, he wants to push his streak, and he wants to, and he's still, you know, he's still making 40 gold. Like, he's going to lose this round, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because think about the amount of gold that he's losing for doing that. If he's in the spot and you have to level, and going to level 8 puts you at 20 gold, then that's not a good decision. But 40 versus 50 gold is just 1 gold difference, and if you have 40 gold, you can always make 50, so you're only ever just losing 1 gold, essentially. Now, he was shown 3 augments that he didn't like. It was Scoped Weapons, Thrill the Hunt, and like something else. And he re-rolled for just to find something better, and he found Ascension, and he said, man, Ascension is BIS, and I didn't know that that was BIS, and you can kind of understand why. He actually didn't lose the previous round, but he lost to this round. But if you think about it further, you know, you're getting just extra units, and Ascension is BIS because when you get to the point in time of the game where you're able to fit Ezreal on your board, there's a lot of times where Ezreal has, he takes a very long time to cast. So there's situations where, you know, your several tank units that you're like duplicating with the Infiniteam hexes are providing a whole lot of frontline, and then your duplicated Ezreals both hit Ascension and then cast and then end up like wiping the whole board. The issue with Ezreal and why a lot of people consider him to be bad is because he never is really good at actually wiping boards. He normally just like feeds mana and then doesn't do enough damage to actually kill any units, and then the opposing team either just heals back up or is just able to use that extra time to run over your team, and then your Ezreal's not getting a second cast. But with Ascension, it makes it so that he's able to actually like wipe some units, and just being able to do that alone is just by far the most important thing that you can hope for when you're playing around Ezreal. You really want to make sure that one of his casts are wiping the enemy's board. So he's currently level 8, 80 gold, 80 HP. He has no reason to level, or he knows for a fact that he's just going 9. And then when he goes 9, he's going to look for Samira, he's going to look for Garen, he's going to look for Fiddlesticks, he's going to look for Mordekaiser, and then of course he's going to look for Ezreal. And basically, the game plan for this comp is pretty simple. It's for sure a good comp that you want to have under your belt, especially in the new meta, because it's very easy to understand how to play it. You just he kind of just slammed items for tempo. He was able to get some pretty decent items. Guardbreaker's very strong, Sunfire Cape is very good, but he just slammed this Declaw for tempo. It's not like Declaw is like especially insane. It's not, he just slammed it because he had it. Now we can see his final item selection. He was going to go for IE, but then he realized that he thinks Giant Slayer is better because there's a few rerollers and there's a Jax player. You can see he even forgoes giving, his Ezreal the chance to make his ability crit just for Giant Slayer. He thinks the damage amplification that Giant Slayer gives him is overall better than IE. Now, is that true? Maybe, maybe not. Is that part of the reason why he's not going to like necessarily win out? Maybe. But we can see that he's level 9. And he also, since he's been losing some rounds, he did like a preemptive 9, or he leveled to 9 on 5-2, which is a good interval, but he's only rolling 23 gold at the start of the round. So he's able to find one Ezreal, and that is enough to get him to 7 Infiniteam. So at the end of the day, that's like why he made the decision. But you can see that he doesn't have enough gold to necessarily find everything that he wants. He also can't move these items onto Ezreal because he needs a replacement Sivir, but he doesn't want to send it all the way down, because if he kind of doesn't hit Ezreal 2 and a Sivir after rolling all of his gold, then he's in a spot where he actually can't get that much stronger, and it doesn't, he could set himself up to go bot 4. Because he's starting to lose a lot of rounds, but of course, no one in the lobby right now is level 9 outside of him. So he has the highest potential of getting stronger, which is of course why he's not going to end up losing the game here. It's a Nico carousel. The champion duplicator is the gold one, so this is the one that you can use on any unit. And this is another interesting decision. You can see exactly how bad this Urgot unit has become based on like the continuation of nerfs. Now, Urgot was known to be like, just you always fit him in your comp no matter what. He dealt a lot of damage, he provided CC, he gave gold, but they've nerfed him enough times where people actually don't really consider playing Urgot on their board. He literally rolled over an Urgot 2 because he doesn't think he can fit it and for it to make sense. Now, he could easily just play an Urgot 2 over this Samira, and if he had infinite gold, then he probably would, but he also needs to... He's saving gold because he needs to roll further to hit this Garen 2 because he really prefers Garen over Aatrox. And he also wants, like, chances of being able to hit Fiddlesticks 2 and Janna 2, so he doesn't want to ruin, his entire economy by making that Urgot 2. And yeah, you can kind of see how this comp comes together. Even in this circumstance where nothing is perfect, he prefers Garen over Aatrox. He wants Fiddlesticks on his board. He doesn't have Samira 2. He doesn't have, like, the best items on Ezreal. These items are all, like, very strong, but he doesn't have IE, so he's not utilizing the effectiveness of the crit. And Ezreal's whole thing is that it's basically his entire kit is his ability. So not having crit for your cast is a pretty big hindrance. And you can see that he kind of just donkey rolls because he wants to just make the strongest board possible. There's a lot of other players in the lobby that are starting to get increasingly strong, and it's just not... he just wants to make sure that he doesn't lose. So in fights like this, we can see that Ezreal doesn't actually cast right when Ascension goes off, but he does cast, like, his second cast is the one that kind of wipes the board. And so this is a very interesting play here that I learned from him, and I knew some stuff like this was possible, like with Mirror Image, right? The LeBlanc support augment, when you duplicate a unit, it could get benefits from Windy Weather Janna or like Zeke's. If you had a Zeke's positioned next in a spot where the duplicated unit would go to, it would actually get the benefit from the Zeke's and the Chalice, even though it didn't start off in that spot. Now he positions his Janna like this because he knows for a fact that the Infiniteam units, for some reason, they prefer to duplicate themselves to the left. Now, they'll, of course, duplicate themselves to a spot that is open. So if there's no other spots except for, one spot that's open, then they'll go in that specific spot, so you can use that to your advantage. But he knows that they prefer to duplicate to the left. So with this Windy Weather Janna, the duplicated Ezreal gets duplicated to the left, and it also benefits from the Janna. It's like a pretty crazy interaction. He sent it last turn. He open sold his Aatrox to hit Garen 2, and then he realized that what he did was a terrible play because he had the chances of ending up going third in this spot. Aatrox 2, of course, being better than Garen 1. He just kind of prayed that he hit, and then he just didn't hit. But yeah, he ended up getting, he was able to get this Janna 2, and you can kind of see how these traits work out very well. Windy Weather Janna is just so broken in this comp because of the way that these duplicated hexes work, but also because, it gives Twisted Fate Spellslinger. Now, of course, that doesn't make that much of a difference, but it definitely makes some amount of a difference. And he's just barely able to win this next fight here, and it's now a top, or no, he wasn't able to finish off the third place player. But I'm just gonna fast forward real quick. He goes for blue buff here because he wants Janna to cast quicker, and he's really trying to win these positions for Robovan because he wants to guarantee this top 2. And we can see that the final fight of the game is about to go on. He makes this Fiddlesticks 2, and he plays Fiddlesticks over Samira, and then he is able to Zephyr his opponent's Fiddlesticks. I think what he should have done here is put the Fiddlesticks in the Windy Weather Janna hex. But yeah, I mean, look at this look at this fight right here. So they both have Windy Weather Janna, and they're both duplicating Ezreals. So basically, they all cast at a similar time, and then it's just like, what is even going on? But yeah, he ends up losing. So, I mean, obviously he doesn't go first. But guess what? Guess who went first in the lobby? Another vertical Infiniteam player. So this comp is very strong. They're buffing it even further. Hopefully I was able to, help you understand how to play the comp. Hopefully you learned something. And I'll see you in the next one.